Jim McGurl is an MFA student at Rosemont. This will be his 4th degree, and he hopes to be able to use it to become a university professor. I hope so too. I hope that works. He grew up in Levittown and is an avid Philadelphia Phillies fan. He's currently working on a baseball novel in which he visits all the major league parks to see a Phillies game. He loves writing fiction and new journalistic pieces and has recently discovered a fondness for script writing cartoons. The piece he's reading is a feature article he wrote for a journalism class at Bucks County Community College. It was published in the school's newspaper, and he finds it to be good inspiration to keep him going when he is discouraged. Come on, welcome Jim.
How you doing? All right, this piece is called Not As Drum As You Thought. It was a featured article that I wrote about a friend of mine who was a Drexel student, and who was also in a punk band. And I found the dichotomy of how he could balance both separate lives to be pretty interesting, because engineering is not usually the kind of thing that a punk drummer engages in, and he was really interested in it. So, Street Road Bar and Grill, August 25th. It reeks of smoke in the tiny dive bar as alternative punk band The Noviach starts to unpack their instruments. It is late Friday night and 2 bands have already played, leaving stains and empty beer bottles strewn about the stage. The crowd is getting more drunk and rowdy every second that goes by, and the boys are frantically trying to get their equipment stationed for the optimum sound recognition. At the very back, pushed almost to the wall, sits Drew Rupetsky, drummer and de facto leader of the band. Drew stands about 5'7" and weighs about 125 pounds. And as he stands braced against the brick facade behind him, he looks like the kids who stand outside the mall on weekends, not planning on shopping, but not leaving either. He has his kit already up and is testing the microphones on the drums. Drew quickly and carefully tests each head, making sure that the sound of his pounding will not damage the band's expensive sound system or blow out the amps they have spent nearly 3 summers playing in crummy bars like this to pay for. Golden Dawn Diner, August 27th. I like to make sure that every time I hit every drum, I get the fullest and juiciest sound I can, Drew says as he puts ketchup on a beautiful looking broccoli and cheese omelet. Drew is not the epitome of Drexel University student fashion. His Ramones t-shirt is fading and seems to be older than the diner we are eating in. His boyish features and slick back hair grab the attention of more than a few female patrons as he continues his thought. It's like a personal thing I have. If I can't get the most out of something, use it to its full extent, I try not to even do it. Drexel University, August 27th. The classroom is huge, stadium seats full and a full enrollment. The topic of the day is mechanical mathematics, and everyone in class seems uninterested, except for Drew. He's got his face scrunched up and he is copying down equations with the same fervor that he used to play the drums the night before. His pen moves with speed and fury. Never once does his gaze move from the page. He is writing what is being said instead of reading and copying it, figuring out the problems and solutions all at once. What's different from the previous evening, however, is that there is no more raging drummer slamming sticks in rhythm with the rest of the band. Now there is a dedicated, focused student trying to make the most from the money he and the state are using to fund an education. The drummer from the Noviach is gone, and in his place is Drew, the engineering student. Back to the bar. The smoke begins to form a cloud above the crowd, and the band is ready to play. It drifts towards the left side and settles at one end of the bar. Drew reaches down below the visible drums and takes a drink from a big red plastic lawnmower gas can. Someone in the crowd points and laughs. Drew looks out and smiles, this being one of his favorite crowd-pleasing tricks. And then the lead singer introduces them. We're, the Noviach. The ensuing awkward silence is broken by the crash of cymbals in the background. Drew signals the beginning of the first song and the set. The crowd listens and it seems in awe of the band playing. Drew continues playing unfazed by the sprinkle of people leaving the bar and moving towards the stage. It could be that they are inebriated past the point of caring, or that they simply are enjoying the music so much that they don't know what to do. The band does not stop for breath as they segue into the next song, The Empire of Lord Shah Says. As the intensity of the song increases, you can feel a crescendo building within the crowd. Drew is unflinching as he plays. It's not about the people, it's about having fun and enjoying playing my music. If we cared about what every person thought about us, we would never have made it this far in doing what we do, he states during a break between sets. The time is now around 12 a.m. and in about an hour, the bar will close and the band will pack up and go home. They have an hour drive back to campus, not to mention Drew has work the next morning at 9 a.m. Still, he plays on with no regrets and no remorse. Drew is a rare breed of musician which is becoming more common, for not only does he have a backup plan, he is dedicated to following through with it. In a business where most of the people drop out of school or stop going after high school graduation, Drew thrives in the scholastic and professional worlds while successfully maintaining a fulfilling musical pastime/dream. It's hard sometimes balancing everything. I'd be lying if I told you that my girlfriend didn't get mad because we practice 3 nights a week, or that I haven't skipped school to go to a show. I can say that I have canceled practice to study for a test. With this type of thing, it's all relative. Before I do anything, I weigh the positives and the negatives. Being a musician is very important to me, but at the same time, maintaining a life is just as important. I want to be in a band, but I also want to have a family, a girlfriend, and a job. Drew is not the first musician to dabble in other areas of expertise. Phantom Planet's Jason Schwartzman has a semi-successful acting career, as does Jared Leto of 30 Seconds to Mars. Their bands, however, have reached a higher plateau than the Noviage, and it is rarer for a musician to pursue an engineering career. But Drew is optimistic. I would love to play for a bigger audience. In fact, we are planning a tour of the East Coast around Christmas time. If we make it, cool. If we don't, I will always have engineering to fall back on. A lot of people ask me if I ever considered dropping out of college and joining a band permanently. I tell them no. I ask Drew why this is, and he replies, "There was one time when I was drumming for a band called Stick Figure Suicide. Their original drummer had gone to study abroad and I was filling in for him. We were playing a show at their CD release party because they just got signed, and they asked if I would like to be their drummer full time. I thought how great it would be to join them and tour the country playing big venues with an already successful band. Then I stopped myself and said, wait, they already have a drummer, and I'm still in school. This isn't the right thing to do, and I didn't join them. But I don't regret what I did. It's better to plan for the future than let it hit you in the face and deal with it." Back to Drexel. Class is almost over for the day, and everyone is packing up their books and preparing for release into the worlds they have trained for. Everyone, that is, except for Drew. He continues to hang from the edge of his seat listening to his English teacher speak about John Milton and Herman Melville. His pencil smokes from the rapid rate at which its ink is leaving its body. The clock chimes and class is ended. Everyone is ready and leaves in a hurry. Drew grabs his notebook and approaches the teacher while the other students approach the door. He's been taking down questions to ask about the material they were covering. He didn't ask them during class because he didn't want to interrupt the teacher. I guess you could say I am a little shy when it comes to everything else, but most musicians are. Did you know that Jim Morrison did not face the crowd during his shows until their 30-second gig? Like I said before, it's all relative. I don't need to be the center of attention during class. I can fade into the crowd. But when I'm playing, me and the band are what everyone's staring at. I have to entertain. With this stark contrast of personality, it's almost as if Drew is leading 2 different lives. One minute he ravages a drum solo in a bar with the punk crowd. The next he grabs his pocket protector and his notes and solves logarithms while reading Finnegan's Wake. But Drew says that he is just like every other performer. Every coin has 2 sides, and I don't feel I'm any different from anyone else. I just do my best to survive and stay true to me, and I hope for the best. Back to the bar. The set is over, and Drew and the rest of the band start to pack up their things. A member of the crowd approaches them and gives them his thoughts. "Dude, I heard a lot of bands come through here, and you guys were the best in a long time." They finished out the set with a fast, hard-hitting cover of the U2 classic Bloody Sunday. If they hadn't won the audience over with that, there was no hope. The band received a standing ovation and even sold a few of their demo CDs called No Shoes, No Shirt, No Viage. It's hard sometimes to balance everything at once, but I have faith that it can be done, and I won't give up. I love my music and I like school. I'm not quitting either in the near future. Drew and his band continue to strive and move on whether or not adversity rears its head. He is confident that if he fights to keep above the surface, the water will not swallow him. That's it.